Hello and welcome back. I'm Ethan here once more for Unorthodox Theology, the mouthpiece of the resistance. I'm still coming to you strong from Truth Base 1. In this episode, we continue our discussion with Sophia, a friend, a biblical scholar, and a fellow traveler with the resistance. So, Sophia, when we left off our discussion for a break, you were talking about Alexander and how the absence of any clear allusion to him is strong evidence that the Aramaic and Hebrew in Daniel have different authors. Is there any other significance to this difference?
Yes, thank you, Ethan. That's a wonderful segue. There is more significance. As I was saying, the Hebrew visions in Daniel show a clear awareness of both Alexander and his successors. Not only do they figure prominently in the first Hebrew vision, but the third Hebrew vision gives a detailed account of the decline and conquest of the last dynasty of ancient Egypt, a dynasty of Macedonian pharaohs known as the Ptolemies, all descendants of a friend and colleague of Alexander. The Aramaic stories show no such detailed awareness, and if they did, they would show it in one of the core's two end-times prophecies.
That's fascinating. Why would an awareness of Alexander appear in one of these two end-times prophecies?
Well, both of these prophecies follow an ancient literary motif about the end of the world after a succession of distinct ages. In the Aramaic prophecies, this succession becomes a succession of 4 kingdoms, followed by an eternal kingdom of God. Now, the third kingdom in this succession is the Achaemenid Persian Empire. The prophecy explicitly identifies the first kingdom with Nebuchadnezzar, the first king in the narrative. So the second kingdom aligns with the fictional Darius the Mede. The third kingdom is the kingdom of Cyrus the Persian, which the narrative mentions as the successor to Darius, even if the kingdom itself goes unseen. Any other interpretation of the prophecy must rely on information from outside the narrative, so it cannot show the original intention of the authors, even if it is valid from a reader response perspective. Now, even though this third kingdom is part of the fictional narrative, we may nonetheless identify it with Achaemenid Persia. Cyrus was a well-known, if not beloved, figure among the Jewish people of the time. The biblical book of Isaiah goes so far as to depict him as a Messiah, chosen and beloved by God. Thus, if the authors of this Aramaic prophecy knew anything about Alexander, the fourth kingdom would reflect that knowledge, and it doesn't. The description of this kingdom as powerful, destructive, and divided is vague and indecisive. It comes nowhere near the detail provided in the Hebrew visions.
Tell us more about this ancient literary motif tied to the Aramaic prophecies. I think I have a relevant visual you sent me. May I bring it up?
Yes, please do. Both of these prophecies follow an ancient literary motif about the end of the world after a succession of distinct ages. The Greek epic poem Works and Days by Hesiod has a notable example of this motif. This poem dates to about 700 BCE, and it describes 5 generations of humanity: a golden generation, a silver one, a bronze one, a heroic generation, and a final, anarchic generation of iron, after which the gods permit humanity to enter eternal oblivion. The first Aramaic prophecy is a variation on this tale. It omits the heroic generation and ascribes each of the other 4 generations to a different world empire. It then depicts the 4 metals as part of a massive idol and the anarchy of the Iron Age through its mixture with non-metallic clay. Then, rather than permit humanity to enter oblivion, the prophecy instead depicts the utter destruction of the idol with an uncut stone that then grows into an enormous mountain, signifying a 5th and eternal empire, a kingdom of God.
The link between this prophecy and earlier literature is fascinating. But why doesn't the mere fact that the fourth kingdom follows the Achaemenid Empire show its tie to Alexander?
Because the literary motif explains the number of kingdoms. In the prophecy, the heroic age of Hesiod becomes the final, eternal kingdom of God, and the number of non-heroic, metallic ages is 4. The origin of the number 4 is therefore literary, not historical. The authors include a 4th kingdom to complete the motif, and probably to distance their current Persian overlords from the divine destruction of the 4th kingdom, and the ignominy that destruction implies.
But what about the second Aramaic prophecy? Doesn't it have more details that tie the fourth kingdom to Alexander?
Yes, the second prophecy does have more details. But no, none of those details match Alexander or his successors, beyond the trivial facts that they were divided, and their era followed the period of the Achaemenid Empire.
Absolutely fascinating. I want to ask more, but we've reached the time for another break. I'm Ethan, and this channel is Unorthodox Theology. Open your ears to hear and open your eyes to see, and all of us together will discover the secret answers to the mysteries of Daniel. Join the resistance and subscribe today. Please continue to the next episode of Unorthodox Theology to hear the conclusion of our discussion with Sophia on the Aramaic core of Daniel. Thank you for your attention, and never surrender.